I thought it was only yesterday that I got elected here in Amsterdam, the first ELF. Now 1 whole year is gone. We are here in Amsterdam again. Let me introduce the first speaker. We really can hear from him what will happen in the next 5-10 years and what we can expect of our world. Markus Lindquist, welcome on stage.
There are two ways you could talk about disruptive trends. One is to give you a list. Here are 6 or 7 things. And the risk then is that you will have heard of many of them. And an even greater risk is, of course, that this list will have a best before date of about 1 or 2 years. Horizontal trends is in essence the same thing happening in more places. We can see an idea being maybe invented in California, and then it takes a few months before it comes to Amsterdam, it takes a few months before it comes to Stockholm, and another 25 years before it comes to Switzerland. We go over time from a climate of diversity to a climate of sameness. And this is not relevant in any way to label printers, of course. You are special, unique, and different. A little bit of competition then is good. You cannot behave the way you want. It keeps you on your feet. It keeps you engaged. The problem today is that we don't see a little bit of competition, we see hyper-competition. You can see the world as this globalized place of emerging and more emerged markets, sluggish growth, lots of competition, incremental improvement, and so on. And that's not the future. Vertical trends means that something previously impossible becomes a reality, something we considered magic. When you hear about new technologies, quickly adapt to them. That is the essence of vertical thinking. Don't try to predict. You can't. Today, if you have power, somebody's planning to take it from you. That's what we call disruption. Then I have something that makes me a pessimist. It's a quote by a philosopher. You keep saying when you ought to be changing. The philosopher's name is Nancy Sinatra, and she not only said it, she sung it.
You keep saying it when you ought to be a-changing.
Avoid trends. Trends show what others are already doing. You need to look at secrets instead. Bling, 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 bling. And it's my dream that we can all tell our grandchildren that we were there when the future began in June 2016 at the FINAT Forum. Thank you so much.
It's my first FINAT Congress. We've been a member for a year, and I have to say I am very impressed. We've had a great alignment of speakers. I thought the opening keynote speaker today, the futuristic thinker, wow, was he impressive and very thought-provoking.
Some people said last year, why can't we just put it out in writing, because it's every year the same slides and the same bar charts. So I tried to sort of innovate a little bit. Pantaya has been collecting the label stock statistics since about 2003, I think. Since 2 years we also have something called the FINAT Radar, which is tracing market trends every 6 months. In the springtime we track the converter trends. In the autumn there's a brand owner viewpoint. The last 3 years our industry achieved an average growth rate in excess of 5%, which is remarkable. 1/4 of total label materials consumed is consumed in the food industry. We have retail with a strong percentage, and then transport and logistics. Best performing market segments, according to the converter panel that was taking part, were pharma, health and beauty, and food. I think the strength of FINAT is in the collaboration along the supply chain, and this is something that I would like to share with you. We're all, let's say, label masters, if you could say it this way.
Hello, my name's Lisa Milburn. I'm the Managing Director of Label Expo and Labels and Labelling magazine. I'm thrilled to be here at this year's ELF Forum with FINAT. Label Expo has had a very close relationship with FINAT for the last 25 years, and our relationship's grown from strength to strength. Jules announced this morning some very interesting statistics for the industry, and Europe seems to be showing some very good growth across the board, so we're very happy about that. It's good news for everyone, and you can probably hear around me there's lots of networking going on. Lots of the key suppliers and converters are here supporting FINAT, and we're delighted to be in partnership with them, and will continue to be so for the long term.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do what we call a Buzzmaster debate, and we'll need you for that. We're going to talk about label sourcing trends. So will the global competition continue, or will we return to local sourcing? And the future of smart labels, how will disruptive trends will maybe disrupt or change the role of the label suppliers in the value chain? How can you add more value?
Where do you work? Are you do you work at a converter? Are you a direct supplier, indirect supplier, consultancy, or maybe other?
Can you tell me something about why you think you and your company are front runners?
We have been the first one using laser die cutting. It's about 12 years ago, and we are using digital inkjet since 6 years.
If you look at the innovative companies today, a big part of this innovation is coming from outside.
When I go down the pub and talk to my friends and I say I'm a packaging guy, they don't talk about anything like that. They talk about, why can't I get into this piece of packaging? What are you going to do about that? Because I can't get into it.
The packaging and the identity of a product needs to be in perfect harmony with what is truly inside.
Can you use your label to understand the consumer enough to give them a reason to come back?
You can connect the code with some means of design so that it becomes variable, that the customer understands that there's something more behind.
Price is always a problem, but the only way you can get more for your product is to add value.
So the way that we look at it is that it's not a question about whether sustainability will be important. It's only a question about when and how.
We have to remember that a brand owner has a lot of sustainability agenda items. Release liner represents, in fact, less than 1% of the waste they generate.
You've really got to get away from just focusing on your product. You've got to focus on what I call an offering, which will always consist of products and services and intangibles.
I'm not going to ask you for price now, I'm going to ask you for growth, but we can no longer grow our business through price. Why? Because we can't beat the private labels on price, and our differentiator, what we call the value creation today, will only come from innovation and the environment.
Second edition of the European Label Forum. The new concept of our annual congress. Last year was a big success, so the challenge was this year to at least equal the quality of last year's program. And I think, judging by the response from people in the room here and during the breaks and in the networking sessions, people are very happy and satisfied so far. It's all about business relevance, about value creation and innovation, and I think this is what people are also getting out of this meeting. Not only the networking, but also discussing, interaction, dialogue on issues of common interest that will determine the future of this industry.
So I'm Georg Mullerhof, I'm new on the board of the FINAT, I'm from Avery Dennison, and it's fantastic to be here. First of all, to see now a lot of people from the industry. On the other hand, to have very good themes this morning on the future, but as well on the sustainability, which is close to my heart, to see how we get liner recycling going for overall the industry. And it was very good as well to connect with different people here in the industry and to see how we can drive this going forward to get better.
This industry has always excelled in entrepreneurship, technical excellence and innovation. Knowledge and technical awareness will remain key for future success.
I would hope that most of you might get the right answers to the round one. A JDF file uses what format to describe job specifications? 10 seconds left.
think we have a right answer. The glory of being label masters.
European Label Forum as a platform for label community to come together is an excellent vehicle in order for us to share the knowledge, share experience, and being able to improve our businesses for the future. I would encourage all of the new members and all of the people who are considering coming over to FINAT to really think about the benefits of coming together and being more open about what opportunities are ahead of us, how to find the solutions for them, and how to, at the end of the day, grow this market.
I don't know who much of you have been on Drupa. It would be interesting. Who was present on Drupa? Quite a lot.
Drupa, I see showtime. Glamour and glitter. Drupa was magnificent, great. This is Industry 4.0. The future is digital and completely networked.
I think that the networking part is very important on these FINAT meetings because when do you meet 200 and more people from the same industry with all suppliers and competitors or Marktbegleiter, as we say in German. This is a unique chance once a year to come here to a FINAT meeting. Yes, there is a difference between the FINAT and the VSKE meetings. At the VSKE meeting we all speak German, of course. We have more technical subjects because we have no technical seminar in addition. This is all combined in one congress. And our goal at the VSKE is to have always an equivalent participation of ordinary members, so converters, and suppliers. And this is here on this FINAT forum much better than on the previous FINAT forums. I very much appreciate this, and this is also a reason that I'm happy to be here.
Nice to have this opportunity to come and share a few insights from a very different industry, although I must say that listening to Herbert talking in the previous session, I was very struck by a number of things, particularly some of the topics that you're talking about, very topical in my industry in terms of our migration towards so many things being digital. The printing industry is very important to us, labeling industry. The very strange thing is when I arrived this morning, I discovered, I think I actually know or have dealt with about a third of the companies that are actually on the screen behind me, because Formula One's all about global marketing, about branding, about visibility, about packaging, about promotion. Some of you in the audience might think that because Formula One is a very sexy, glamorous, exciting sport, the people who work in Formula One must equally be sexy, glamorous, and exciting. This is reality. Even the branding of our vehicles from the point of view, and our drivers and our team, from the point of view of your sector meeting with us, we have seen huge change over the last 10 or 12 years. And it's been incredibly powerful because the lead time to produce updates to the branding and the livery used to be many, many days. Sometimes it would take weeks to fully rebrand a team whenever we were having a new sponsor joining us. Today, it's a same-day activity, effectively. We need to innovate to be competitive. We certainly need to innovate to differentiate one team from another. And our business model was that we designed, manufactured, and produced a technology product. But how we made our money was we sold advertising. And so we set about using our technical know-how to manage risk, which we'd never really properly done before. We previously used our technical know-how to drive performance. This is a 310 kilometer per hour accident, okay? It's caused by human error. We know that human error is the reason for the vast majority of accidents. And it is the kind of accident that 25 years ago, he would have lost his life. How can you drive a Formula One car when you don't even have a driving license? And you've never raced in the Italian Grand Prix before. You've never visited Monza. How can you be so competitive? And he said, no, I really don't understand the question. He said, because I've been doing the Italian Grand Prix since I was about 4. And he said, I reckon I've done it about 5,000 times. He said, I'm an expert on this facility. I know every millimeter of the Monza track. I know exactly where to overtake. I know exactly where to brake. I know exactly how to do everything. And the journalist said, I don't understand. Now I don't understand. And Max said, well, because I've been doing it on PlayStation. It's virtual environments that for us, a digitally driven virtual environment that creates for us the opportunity to improve performance of our people and also to develop technologies which we can sell. That because we learned how to do that, the world of engineering started to come to us for business. They're now a diversified technology group. That's McLaren today. It's a diversified technologies group. And if you talk to them about what they now do, they will say to you, well, basically, we became experts at this. This is actually what excites me about my sport today. It is not the car racing, which sometimes is boring. It's the fact that it's a very innovative, dynamic environment to work in. It's an environment of innovation, of people, of technology, of processes. And if you can unleash the potential, it's amazing what you can achieve. Thank you very much.
This will become one of the better events in FINAT history. Yesterday night we had a fantastic after work, you could call it. I think that's also a nice angle to FINAT, makes business with pleasure. Very insightful presentations, thought-provoking, and a bit of fun. Networking during the whole 2 days has been great. Everybody's been talking about the next, what can we do next, how can we improve the industry. So ELF is a platform for the label industry to meet, gather ideas, talk to each other and work out those ideas to, say, grow the business. So I think the ELF 2016 did what it could do to work as a platform for this industry to meet. The work to program for 2017 will start within an hour, so it's a continuous improvement journey that we are starting, and it's rewarding to be in part of this process. I think it's first of all a challenge to find the right way, but I think we'll work on an even better program for 2017.